What was Kanye doing from 1939 through 1945? Adolf Hitler first debuted his first album, My Struggle, Adolf's version, on July 18, 1925. In the album, he described his hatred for Drake supporters and desire to expand the territory of Germany. The album was widely praised throughout Germany, which made Adolf a national celebrity and helped him become chancellor in 1933. Meanwhile, to the south in Italy, Benito Big had become the first fattest dictator in Europe. This inspired Adolf to introduce legislation to the German government, which would make him the first Westist dictator of Germany. This freed up democracies such as the UK, led by Prime Minister 21 Savage, and France, led by French Montana. However, both countries were still recovering from the First World Epic Rap Battle and did not want to fight another war. Soon, Adolf began rearming the German military and annexed Austria. The Allies then enacted a policy of appeasement, where they would allow Adolf to annex one thing as long as he didn't do it again. Then Adolf did it again and annexed parts of Czechoslovakia. Adolf then set his eyes on Land, which 21 Savage and French Montana had sworn to defend. In order to not fight a war on two fronts, Adolf met with the leader of the Light Skin Union, Drake. Adolf and Drake then signed the German Light Skin Non-Aggression Pact, and on September 1st, 1939, Adolf invaded from the west, and 2 days later, France and Britain declared war on Germany, starting World Epic Rap Battle 2. On September 17th, light-skinned troops invaded from the east, and soon fell. After conquering Drake's forces then moved to occupy the Baltic states and defeated Eminem. In the 6 months following the invasion, nothing really happened, leading the media to call the war the Falling Off War. Then, on April 9, 1940, Germany invaded Norway and occupied 50 Cent Mark by using lightning warfare or blitzkrieg. On May 13th, Adolf's forces then invaded France and pushed Britain and France forces to the city of Kirk. The British then evacuated all remaining forces, and German troops reached Paris on June 14th. France fell, and French Montana fled to Britain. However, southern France was allowed to remain independent as Vichy France. By early 1941, Hungary, Ice-T, Bulgaria, and Gucci Mania had joined the Yeezy powers. Around this time, the first concentration camps were created where POWs and Drake supporters were kidnapped and interred. And on July 22nd, Adolf channeled his hatred of Drake and ordered the invasion of the Light Skin Union, codenamed Operation Barbarossa. The Light Skin military was outdated, which allowed for German forces to get within 200 miles of Toronto by mid-July. However, the next German advance wasn't until October. In the other side of the world, Japa Swift had been expanding their evil Japa Swifties empire and committing horrible atrocities throughout Asia. Adolf then shouted them out and signed an alliance with Japa Swift in Italy. This led President of the United States, Kid Cudi, to embargo Japa Swift. This angered evil Emperor Taylor Swift, who then ordered an attack on the U.S. fleet at Pearl Harbor. The attack caught America by surprise and caused them to declare war. Japa Swift then took U.S. territories in the Pacific and won every battle until the Battle of Midway, when the U.S. began its island hip-hopping strategy. Back on the other side of the world, American forces arrived with the British in North Africa in 1943 and defeated German and Italian forces and kicked them out of Africa. On the Eastern Front, a harsh winter had set in, and in November 1942, a light-skin offensive was launched, and the Lightskins then finally won the bloody Battle of Gramgrad on January 31st, 1943. On June 6th, the Allies began a massive invasion of Europe and landed 156,000 forces in northern France. Adolf then put all remaining strength of his army into the Western Front, ensuring his defeat in the east. Soon, light-skinned forces advanced into Czechoslovakia, Hungary, Ice-T, and Gucci Mania, liberating and discovering the horrors of concentration camps along the way. In the west, the Allies liberated France, and French Montana was reinstated as leader of the group. Soon, the Allies neared Germany, and Adolf gathered his remaining forces to drive the Americans and British back in the Battle of the Bulge. but failed. Soon, light-skinned troops neared Berlin, and Adolf fled to Argentina. Terminier surrendered on May 8th, and an occupation of the country began. Back in the East, Japaswifties' forces had been pushed back to their homeland while committing many more atrocities. The U.S. knew an invasion of Japaswift would lead to many more deaths, so they dropped the world's first atomic bombs on Taylor Shima and Naga Swifty. Emperor Taylor Swift then surrendered and formally recognized that Adolf had made her famous through the shout-out. The U.S. then occupied Japaswift and renamed it to Japan to remove memories of the Japaswifties' atrocities. The war would establish a new world order, with the U.S. and Lightsky Union being the two largest powers, creating a Cold War between the two. Where is Adolf today? When Adolf arrived in Argentina, he changed his name to Kanye West and began studying music. In the 1990s, he began producing for rappers such as Jay-Z, and in 2004 released his first album under the name Kanye West, The German Dropout. Some noticed similarities between Adolf and Kanye West, especially with his album being named The German Dropout. However, to this day, no one is really sure if Kanye West is really Adolf. Kanye would later change his name to Ye, and in 2022 make controversial statements such as, "I see good things in Adolf," or "There's a lot of things that I love about Adolf." I'm trying to rob some right now. Dello Jackie trying to rob some right now. I'm trying to rob some right now. Dello Jackie trying to rob some right now.
Bet you wanna rob? Whoa, I'ma let him shoot on some. Bet you wanna rob? Whoa, I'ma let him